Hey, I'm staff writer Kaitlyn Doyle with the Prowler, and I'm sitting down with Coach Flowers of the volleyball team. So how are you, Coach Flowers?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good. So I wanted to ask, your overall grade for the team's performance for the entire season, A through F, what would you give?
Over the entire season, I would say a B plus. We, if you'd asked me that question halfway through, I'd probably say less than that. But I think that we came on strong in the end and made a lot of strides at the end of the season, and definitely still some things I think we can work on. But overall, pretty successful.
What do you think y'all's biggest improvement from the beginning of the season to the end of the season was?
I think one would be just teamwork and working together. But at the same time, I think more than anything, just attitude. Being able to feel like we could compete and giving it everything we had. I think some matches early on we probably had a chance to win, but maybe didn't feel like we were going to, or kind of our lack of enthusiasm or whatever may have played a part in being able to win. But I think as we sort of got over that hump halfway through the year, then we started winning some matches based on being able to come back from being down, or just having the opportunity to win at the end.
Yeah, I saw y'all went from seed 6 to seed 4 and then to the Elite 8. So how do you think the region matches, because I know you guys had some hard teams to go up against, how do you think that affected the rankings?
Well, I think that originally we were still trying to figure some things out the first time through the region, and I think that put our record pretty low going into the region tournament. But I felt like we were improving at the right time. That being the 6th seed going into the tournament didn't really reflect our ability at the time, and then that showed in being able to make it out of the tournament and into the state, and then ultimately making it to the Elite 8. I feel like again we were hitting our stride right at the right time, and improving each match, and just playing really well in the last 2 to 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the team saw some really, really amazing improvements throughout the season. But what do you think was the team's biggest flaw throughout the season that you guys are going to have to work on next year?
I think just our own mistakes. I feel like there were many matches that we lost, not because the other team earned it, but because we were missing serves, or our passing wasn't on, or just mistakes in general. And I feel like just our focus and attention to detail is definitely something we'll be working on between now and next year.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask, because you were talking about mentality earlier. So how do you think the mentality will shift again next year, or?
Every year is a new year. It's I always tell the girls at the beginning of a season that these are the 108 days that you'll have with this team. Even if you're on the team last year, there's new people coming in, or there's always freshmen coming in. There's always a changeover, seniors leaving. So you never quite know the personality of a team until you kind of get everybody together. So this year we were hindered with the COVID issue and not having tryouts in the spring. We didn't have the summer to kind of get to know each other and kind of get our team identity together. And so I think that's why it took us so long to kind of get there this year. But hopefully this coming year we'll be able to get back on a regular schedule and have tryouts in the spring, and have our summer to find that identity so that we're ready to go when the season starts.
Yeah, I also know that y'all are supposed to lose a couple seniors this year, especially because Luna, she's a star player, right? How do you think the team is going to cope with losing her?
I think that you always want to continue to build a program where when people leave, there's people to take their place, and I feel like we've done a pretty good job of that over the last few years. That this last year we lost 4 starters who had been 3-year starters, and even with that we were still able to make it back to the Elite 8. So I feel like we have a good program that's building behind her. Of course, we're going to miss her leadership and her versatility. She was able to play different positions, so she brought a lot to the team, and we'll definitely miss her. But I'm also hoping that some of the younger players will step up and fill that gap as she leaves.
Are you looking at any specific players to fill the gap?
Not specifically at this point. Again, since she played multiple positions, it'll probably be multiple people who somebody fill in for her setter area, somebody fill in for her as a hitter, that kind of thing. So, it may not be all in one package like it has been, but at the same time, specialty players who can play specific positions can fill in for that.
So would you say that teamwork next year is going to be even more important?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it was important this year too. Volleyball is definitely a game where it builds on itself. So if you can't pass the ball, you can't set it, and if you can't set it, you can't hit. And so each person's important, each step of the process. So she was an important part of that process. But if we're doing what we need to, teamwork is always going to be an important part of it.
Yeah, and like we said before, you guys really displayed that towards improvement throughout the season. So for all of the seniors and all of Panther Nation, do you have any closing thoughts for the 2020 volleyball season?
I would just say congratulations, and I told them this at the end of when we lost the final match, just how proud of them I was for showing fight. We had opportunities. I say opportunities. We had circumstances that could have certainly ended the season earlier, and they were able to fight through those things and being down in matches and still being able to get a victory that helped extend the season. And so just their work ethic and their hustle, I appreciated the effort that they gave, and then ultimately that's what carried us as far as it did.
All right, well, thank you, Coach Flowers. I really appreciate it.
Right, you're welcome.
And thank y'all for watching. Make sure that you go support the Panther Nation at the next athletics games that are coming up for the winter season.